Which lights should you switch on when daytime visibility is poor but not seriously reduced? Dipped headlights. Headlights and fog lights. Front fog lights. Rear fog lights.
Which lights should you switch on when daytime visibility is poor but not seriously reduced? کله چې د ورځې لید کمزوری وي خو چې ډیر زیات خراب نه وي نو باید کم لایټونه استعمال کو. Which lights should you switch on when daytime visibility is poor but not seriously reduced? Which lights do we use? Dipped headlights, headlights and fog lights, front fog lights, or rear fog lights? We use dipped headlights. We always, most of the time, we use dipped headlights. Only in fog, we use fog lights. And if we're driving at night time and there is no street lights and no vehicle ahead of us, then we can use full beam.
Which lights must you use if you're driving on a well-lit motorway at night? Use front fog lights. Use only your side lights. Use your headlights. Use rear fog lights.
Which lights must you use if you're driving on a well-lit motorway at night? Which lights must you use if you're driving on a well-lit motorway at night? Well-lit دغه ته وي چرته چې لایټونه لګېدلي وي رڼا وي هغې ته well-lit وي. تاسو د شپې په موټروی ډرایوینګ کوئ او هلته رڼا وي نو په هغه صورت کې کم لایټونه باید استعمال کوو. So we use headlights.
In order to supervise a learner driver, you need to have held a full driving license for the same category of vehicle for at least 3 years. What other requirement must you meet? To hold an advanced driving certificate. To be at least 21 years old. To have a car with dual controls. To be an approved driving instructor.
In order to supervise a learner driver, you need to have held a full driving license for the same category of vehicle for at least 3 years. What other requirement must you meet? The person should be at least 21 years old. To be at least 21 years old.
You're following a large vehicle. Why should you stay a safe distance behind it? You'll help the large vehicle to stop more easily. You'll keep out of the wind better. You'll give the driver a chance to see you in their mirrors. You'll be able to corner more quickly.
You're following a large vehicle. Why should you stay a safe distance behind it? There are few answers. So one answer is so you can see what's ahead, so you don't block your way. And another answer is obviously if you get too close to the car, the large car that's ahead of you, the driver of the vehicle won't be able to see you in their mirrors. So you will give the driver a chance to see in their mirrors. And the other answer, does anyone remember the other answer? Which is if you get too close to the vehicle that's ahead of you, you will not be able to see the road. So that's the other answer for the same question.
What do you need before you can legally use a motor vehicle on the road? An appropriate driving license. Breakdown cover. A vehicle handbook. Proof of your identity.
What do you need before you can legally use a motor vehicle on the road? Obviously you need a driving license. So an appropriate driving license. An appropriate driving license. Appropriate munasib.
At traffic lights, what does it mean when the amber light shows on its own? Go if no pedestrians are crossing. Prepare to go. Go if the way is clear. Stop at the stop line.
At traffic lights, what does it mean when the amber light shows on its own? So if it's not green, you should always stop. So the answer would be stop at the stop line. Stop at the stop line.
You're traveling along this road. How should you pass the cyclist? Leave them plenty of room as you pass. Keep close to them as you pass. Sound your horn as you pass. Change down one gear before you pass.
You're traveling along this road. How should you pass the cyclist? You should leave as much room as you would leave for a normal car. So the answer would be leave them plenty of room as you pass.
What does this sign mean? No motor vehicles. Cars and motorcycles only. Clearway, no stopping. No overtaking.
What does this sign mean? Remember, if it's a red O, the answer will always be no. Okay, so if it's a red O, it means no. So no motor vehicles. Just remember, so if it's a red O, it's always no. Okay, so no motor vehicles.
Who has priority when traffic lights are out of order? Traffic turning right. Traffic going straight on. Traffic turning left. Nobody.
Who has priority when traffic lights are out of order? If traffic lights are not working, who got priority? Nobody, no one. Which means we have to be more careful. Why? Because traffic could come from any direction. Because the traffic lights are not working. So that's why vehicles could come from any direction. That's why you have to be more careful there. So nobody is the answer.
When will a new car need its first MOT test? When it's 1 year old. When it's 5 years old. When it's 7 years old. When it's 3 years old.
When will a new car need its first MOT? So if you buy a brand new car, for the first 3 years, you do not need any MOT for it. And once you do an MOT, it's valid for 1 year. MOT is valid only for 1 year. But when you get a brand new car, you don't need to do an MOT for the first 3 years. So when it's 3 years old.
Why is a toucan crossing different from a puffin crossing? It's controlled by 2 flashing lights. Motor riders can use it. Pedestrians and cyclists can use it together. It's controlled by a traffic warden.
Why is a toucan crossing different from a puffin crossing? Two can cross. So who are that two? One is cyclist and one is pedestrian. Puffin crossing, does anyone know which one is puffin crossing? Salam. Does anyone know about puffin crossing? Puffin crossing is the crossing that got sensors, okay? Puffin crossing is the crossing that got sensors. Well done, Big B. Is the crossing with sensors. And what does that mean? That means whenever there is anyone on the crossing, the traffic light will not change. So that's the puffin crossing. Two can cross. One is cyclist and one is pedestrian. Oh, well done. So the answer is pedestrian and cyclist can use it together. کدام اردورا یکیش two can crossing است او crossing میگه the crossing که سایکل سوارا کتی پیدل مادم که پیدل میره یک جای میتونه او طرفی سرکتیر شود و چیز که است puffin crossing چی داره سنسرز داره وقتی که کس مانش چیز سنسورها که داشته باشه مانش چیز وقتی که یک پیدرو در سر کراسینگ باشه لایت چینج نمیشه وقتی که درایور رو جستاد باشه روبریش لایت رد لاین می باشه چون که او سنسورها که است او میبینه که کس در کراسینگ است او که است او پافین کراسینگ است که سنسر داشته باشه. Why is a toucan crossing different from a puffin crossing? Pedestrian and cyclists can use it together.
Which lights should you use when you're driving in a tunnel? Side lights. Front spotlights. Rear fog lights. Dipped headlights.
Which lights should you use when you're driving in a tunnel? So that's dipped headlights. Dipped headlights.
What should you do if you begin to feel drowsy while you're driving? Continue with your journey but drive more slowly. Turn the heater up to keep you warm and comfortable. Close the car windows to help you concentrate. Stop and rest as soon as possible.
Oh, you're most welcome. What should you do if you begin to feel drowsy while you're driving? Drowsy خواب اولی توی. Drowsy چی را میگه؟ وقتی که خوابت ببره و drowsy میشه. باید چی کنیم وقتی که خوابت ببره that driving? What should you do if you begin to feel drowsy? Drowsy means sleepy. So if you feel sleepy while you're driving, what should you do? Yeah, you should stop. Stop driving. So stop and rest as soon as possible. Stop and rest as soon as possible. You see, this answer, when you go to test, they might change the answer. They could say leave at the next exit, or they could say stop at the service station. So just read the answers properly before answering. So stop and rest as soon as possible.
You're looking for somewhere to park at night. When may you park on the right-hand side of the road? When you have your side lights on. When you're more than 10 meters, 32 feet, from a junction. When you're in a one-way street. When you're under a lamppost.
Now, this is one of the most common questions that comes in the test. You're looking for somewhere to park at night. When may you park on the right-hand side of the road? You see, just remember, we always park on the left-hand side. We always park in the left-hand side of the road. Always. On the only one road where we can park on the right and also in the left-hand side, that's a one-way street. In a one-way street, we can park on the right and also we can park on the left side as well. And also on a one-way street, we can overtake on the right side and also we can overtake on the left. So that's speciality of a one-way street. All other roads, we can only park on the left-hand side and we can only overtake on the right-hand side. But in a one-way street, we can overtake on both sides and also we can park the vehicle on both sides. So the answer would be when you are in a one-way street. When we are in a one-way street, we can park on the right-hand side as well. If any question, please do ask. کم سوال بانی پوی نشوید تپوس کوله شی. کدام سوال نفهمیدین please پرسان کنید.
What should you do if an instrument panel warning light comes on while you're driving? Hope that it's just a temporary electrical fault. Deal with the problem when there's more time. Continue if the engine sounds all right. Check out the problem quickly and safely.
What should you do if an instrument panel warning light comes on while you're driving? Should fix the problem. Fix the problem. کله چې په ډیشبورډ باندې کوم نه خراشي چې په کوم پارت کې کوم خرابې راغلي دي نو باید موږ هغه مسله حل کړو دینه مخکې چې ډرایوینګ وکړو. So check out the problem quickly and safely. کما معنی کدامش معنی نفهم پشتو گپ میزنی یا داری؟ Check out the problem quickly and safely.
What's the purpose of a catalytic converter? To reduce the risk of fire. To reduce harmful exhaust gases. To reduce fuel consumption. To reduce engine wear.
What's the purpose of catalytic converter? Okay, guys, do you know what does catalytic converter mean? Does anyone know what's catalytic converter? Catalytic converter, no? You see, catalytic converter is a filter. It's a filter that cleans hazardous gases before it comes out from the vehicle. Let me just show you, okay? You see, that's a catalytic converter. That's the engine. When engine burns petrol or diesel, it makes hazardous gases. So this is catalytic converter, and catalytic converter works as a filter. So it cleans or filter the hazardous gases or the harmful gases before it comes out of the exhaust. Okay? Catalytic converter څه ته وایي؟ دا داسې کار کوي لکه د فلټر. کله چې موټر پټرول یا ډیزل وسوځي، هغې نه مخکې چې دا راوځي بهر د موټر نه، د کاتالیتیک کنورتر صفحه کوي. همین کاتالیتیک کنورتر که است مثل فیلتر وارد کار میکنه. وقتی که موتور پترول یا دیزل میسوزه ازشان گاز جور میشه که بسیار خطرناک میباشه برای محیط. کاتالیتیک کنورتر او را پاک میکنه. Okay, so catalytic converter is a filter. If you just remember that, you will never get the answer wrong. So what's the purpose of catalytic converter? To reduce harmful exhaust gases. To reduce harmful exhaust gases. Is that clear? Any question about this one? Does anyone have any question? No?
Where would you expect to see these markers? On a heavy goods vehicle? On a railway bridge? On a motorway sign? On a diversion sign?
Salam Kam. Where would you expect to see these markers? Where would you expect to see these markers? Yeah, on a heavy goods vehicle. And the reason for that is so they are so you can easily see them. So you can easily see them. That's why they would have these markers. So on a heavy goods vehicle.
You're in the right-hand lane of a 3-lane motorway. What do these overhead signs mean? Use the hard shoulder until you've passed the hazard. Move to the left and reduce your speed to 50 miles per hour. There are roadworks 50 meters, 55 yards, ahead. Leave the motorway at the next exit.
You're in the right-hand lane of a 3-lane motorway. What do these overhead signs mean? So if we look in here, you see, so if we are in this lane, what does it say? It's telling us to change the lane. So if we are driving in this lane, what do we have to do? We have to change to the lane that's on the left. And obviously, if you look at the speed limit is not 70. So we reduce the speed limit to 50 miles. So the answer would be move to the left and reduce your speed to 50 miles per hour.
You're planning to tow a caravan. What will help the handling of the combination? A stabilizer fitted to the tow bar. A jockey wheel fitted to the tow bar. Power steering fitted to the towing vehicle. Anti-lock brakes fitted to the towing vehicle.
Hello, Janamas. You're planning to tow a caravan. What will help the handling of the combination? What will help the handling of the combination? It's the it's called a stabilizer. Stabilizer, which is, see, that's a stabilizer. You see the blue one, the dark blue. This is the stabilizer. So the answer would be a stabilizer fitted to the tow bar. You're planning to tow a caravan. What will help the handling of the combination? A stabilizer fitted to the tow bar.
Which vehicle might have to take a different course from normal at a roundabout? Estate car. Sports car. Van. Long vehicle.
Which vehicle might have to take a different course from normal at a roundabout? That's an easy one. Long vehicle. Why long vehicle? The reason is because long vehicle need more room to turn around. Guys, remember, if you find if you feel there is a question that's hard and you don't remember the answer, try to find the reasons behind the answers. Like this one, the answer is long vehicle. Why long vehicle? Because long vehicle need more room to turn around at the roundabout. That's why they will have a different course. So long vehicle.
Why should you try and park in a secure car park? It stops the car being exposed to bad weather. It makes it easy to find your car. It doesn't cost anything to park here. It helps deter thieves.
Why should you try and park in a secure car park? Yeah, it helps deter thieves. Deter means keeping them away. It helps deter thieves. Deter means keeping them away. ولی باید خوندیزی که موږ موټر ودرو ترڅو غله د خپل موټر نه لرې وساتو یا د موټر د غلا نه بچ وساتو. مانا گفتم نفهم تو شما دلیل گپ میزنی. سوالی است که چرا باید در جایی که تامین باشه در اون جای موتر پارک کنیم تا که دور نگاه کنیم از موتر. deter دور نگاه کردن نمیگه. It helps deter thieves. It helps deter thieves. Deter دور نگاه کردن نمیگه. Thieves دزد.
Why has the line in the center of the road changed? To warn you the speed limit has changed. To warn of hazards ahead. To warn you not to change lanes. To warn you there's a speed camera ahead.
Why has the line in the center of the road changed? سوالی است که در مابین سرک این خط چرا تغییر خورد؟ So if we look in here, there is small white lines and big gaps in between. And now it's changed. The white lines are bigger and the gap is small. They're asking this question, why it's changed. سوالی است که در مابین سرک همی خط چرا تغییر خورد. اگر از اولی ویدیو ببینین همی خطا که است یعنی در مابینش فاصله زیاد است. نید همی سفید خط که است در مابینش فاصله زیاد است آلی کم شد. سوالی است که چرا کم شد. این در فکرتان باشه وقتی که همی فاصله کم باشه ایره hazard line میگن. Remember guys, if there is a small gap between white lines like this, you see, if you look in here, the white lines are bigger and the gap is small. Whenever this gap is small, these are called hazard line. Just watch, you see, the gap is bigger. See, the gap is bigger and now the gaps are small. See? These are called hazard lines, okay? So the answer would be to warn of hazards ahead. To warn of hazards ahead. Guys, could you please everyone just share the live with your friends? Could you please everyone just share the live once? And if you did not follow me, please do follow, guys. Thank you, Bacha. To warn of hazard ahead.
What does this sign mean? Lay by 30 miles ahead. Minimum speed 30 miles per hour. Maximum speed 30 miles per hour. Service area 30 miles ahead.
Thank you, Jigana. What does this sign mean? What does this sign mean? Just remember, if it's a blue sign is always minimum. Blue is always minimum. If it's not blue, they're all maximum. If it's blue, it's minimum. دا په ذهن کې یاد وساتئ چې کله هم ساين آبي کلر وي نو هغه مینیمم وي او چې آبي کلر نه وي هغه ټول مکسیمم دی. این در فکرتان باشه اگر ساين ای رنگ چی میگه؟ آبی میگه نه؟ اگر رنگ آبی باشه او که است مینیمم است. اگر آبی نباشه هر شکل باشه هر رنگ باشه او کلشون مکسیمم است. این که است مینیمم است. What does this sign mean? So it's a blue sign, it means it's a minimum. So the answer would be minimum speed 30 miles per hour. Minimum speed 30 miles per hour.
Which sign shows that you're entering a one-way system?
Which sign means you're entering a one-way system? So this one, we have priority over oncoming traffic. That's a one-way street. That's no U-turn. That's give priority to oncoming traffic. So that's the one. That's a one-way street sign.
What should you do as you approach this lorry? Move to the right-hand side of the road. Slow down and be prepared to wait. Make the lorry wait for you. Flash your lights at the lorry.
What should you do as you approach this lorry? So you're driving and you see this lorry coming out from the side road in front of you. What should you do? Obviously, you should slow down and allow the lorry to turn. So the answer would be salam and be prepared to wait. Slow down and be prepared to wait. Kashmiri bhai, walaikum salam.
The road outside this school is marked with yellow zigzag lines. What do these lines mean? You shouldn't wait or park your vehicle here. You may park on the lines when picking up school children. You must stay with your vehicle if you park here. You may park on the lines when dropping off school children.
The road outside this school is marked with yellow zigzag lines. What do these lines mean? So whenever you see a zigzag line, you're not allowed to park your vehicle there. So the answer will be you shouldn't wait or park your vehicle here. You shouldn't wait or park your vehicle here.
What does this sign mean? Traffic danger spot ahead. Low bridge ahead. Tunnel ahead. Ancient monument ahead.
Okay, that's the easy one. So the answer would be it's a tunnel sign. Tunnel ahead.
Which of these signs warns you of a zebra crossing?
Zebra crossing, that's children crossing the road or school crossing. That's people walking along the road. Number one is people walking along the road. Number three, elderly people crossing the road. And number one is zebra crossing. Zebra crossing.
What may help to deter a thief from stealing your car? Always keeping the headlights on. Fitting reflective glass windows. Always keeping the interior light on. Etching the registration number on the windows.
What may help to deter a thief from stealing your car? What may help to deter a thief from stealing your car? HRA, you didn't get it? That's etching the registration number on the windows. Etching the registration number on the windows mean like you scratch your number. Let me just show you if any one of you don't know. So if you have your number on the window of your vehicle, where is it? Okay. Not this one. See, like this. So if you have your number scratched on the window, if someone wants to steal your car, they will know they will have to change the windows. If they don't, police could easily catch them. So that's why etching the registration number on the windows, which is scratching like this. So if you have your registration number on your window, it's most likely if someone wants to steal a car, they will leave your car. They will not steal your car. That's called scratching, etching the registration number on the window. نه او پاک نمیشه مثل چی واره کتی چیز که کیل میگه چی میگه کتیو که جور میکنم نمیفهم داری ما چی میگه مورا کنداکاری میگه کننده میگه چی میگه او طور اگر در شیشه نمبر پلیتتان باشه اگر کس میخواه که موتر دزدی کنه میشه که موتر شماره ایله کنه اگر شماره نمبر پلیت اوجا سکرچ کرده باشین حکاکی واره شاید حکاکی میگه نمیفهم. Okay. What may help to deter a thief from stealing your car? Etching the registration number on the windows, or engraving the registration number on the windows, or scratching the registration number on the windows.
What must you do if your ability to drive is impaired during a period of illness? Take smaller doses of any medicines. See your doctor each time before you drive. Stop driving until you're fit to drive again. Take all your medicines with you when you drive.
What must you do if your ability to drive is impaired during a period of illness? Yeah, so don't drive. Stop driving until you're fit to drive again. Stop driving until you're fit to drive again. It's not B. You don't see your doctor each time before you drive. You have to stop driving until you're fit to drive again.
Which driving technique can help you save fuel? Accelerating sharply in each gear. Using each gear in turn. Missing out some gears. Using lower gears as often as possible.
Which driving techniques can help you save fuel? Okay, Coach Anna, that's a wrong answer. Using a lower gear does not mean you're driving slowly, okay? So the answer is missing out some gears. Does anyone know what does missing out some gears mean? Missing out some gears mean, when you're driving, normally, what do we do when we're driving? Okay, missing out gears means, so normally when we're driving, so what do? We start from first, we go to second, from second we go to third, from third we go to fourth. That's normal driving. But missing out gears mean, so if you start from first, you went to second, from second you did not go to third, you left the third, from second you straight went to fourth gear. So first, second, and then fourth. What did you do? You missed the third gear. Okay, this is called missing out some gears. Is that clear? missing out gears چی مانا داره؟ دا مابین یک گیر ایله میکنی، سعی کنی نورمالی خود که درایوینگ میکنین از اول ما در دوم میریم، از دوم تا سیم، از سیم چهارم. میسینگ اوت گیز این مانا داره که از اول رفتی در دوم، از دوم تا سیم نرفتی، داره که از دوم تا چهارم رفتی. تا مابین ایله کردی. اما ایله کردن در انگلیسی میسینگ میگنی. Missing out some gears. Which driving technique can help you save fuel? Missing out some gears.
Which instrument panel warning light would show that headlights are on main beam?
Which instrument panel warning light would show that headlights are on main beam? Which instrument panel warning light would show that headlights are on main beam? Okay, so that's hazard. That's hazard. That's indicator. That's brakes, and that's full beam. Can you help to get date for practical? The practical dates. Wikibliss. It's I don't know how that works. I can help you with the theory. It's easy to find theory, but practically it's...
What does this sign mean? Give way to trams. Give way to buses. Route for trams. Route for buses.
What does this sign mean? If there is anything inside a blue circle, it means that's a route for them. Anything inside the blue circle, it means that's a route for them. هر چیزی که داخل امی ساین آبی باشه معنیش است که او رایشان است. این رای چیز از trams است. So route for trams. Route for trams.
Your car needs to pass an MOT test. What may be invalidated if you drive the car without a current MOT certificate? The vehicle insurance. The vehicle registration document. The vehicle service record. The vehicle tax.
Your car needs to pass an MOT test. What may be invalidated if you drive the car without a current MOT certificate? موترتان MOT ضرورت داره که MOT داشته باشه، MOT نداره. چیشان خراب میشه اگر بغیر از MOT درایو کنین؟ Insurance, your vehicle insurance. No, it's not vehicle tax. Insurance. MOT, insurance, road tax. Oh, yeah, it's a 1 year. So when you buy a brand new car, for the first 3 years, you don't need to have an MOT. But after that, you will have to do an MOT every year.
What does this sign mean? Direction to park and ride car park. Parking area for cars and coaches. Direction to bus and coach park. No parking for buses or coaches.
What does this sign mean? B. C. C. Kadan. Okay. Who think it's C? Who think it's C? Who think it's C? Okay. Just listen carefully. You know, what we're learning, okay, so the test we're doing is car theory test, okay? What we're learning is car theory test. So they will never ask us any question about bus and coach park. They will never ask us this question, okay? چون که ما اینجا که درس میخونیم درسی موتر میخونیم، نه که کوچ و بس میخونیم. از او خاطر برای ما اینطور ساینا رو نمیاره که ما جوابش بس یا کوچ پارک بدیم. So you just remember guys, they will only ask us question about car theory test, okay? So they will never bring anything like this bus and coach park signs for us because that's not relevant to us. Okay, so this means this is a sign towards a car park or direction towards a car park where you can park your vehicle and plus you can get a public transport as well. So park plus ride, park and ride, okay? So it's a direction to a car park where we can park your vehicle and plus you can get public transport as well. در پارکینگ طرف ته اشاره تا زی اشاره در کی کم زی که تاسو کولای شي خپل موټرم پارکي او دا غیزینه پبلیک ترانسپورت هم واخلي. ای دایرکشن طرف پارکینگ است که اونجا شما میتونین موترتان پارک کنین و از اینجا پبلیک ترانسپورت هم بگیرین. Park plus ride. So what does this sign means? Direction to park and ride car park. So park plus ride, okay? Just park plus ride.
What does it mean if your trailer has a maximum authorized mass, MAM, of 3,500 kilograms? Your trailer can carry a load of 3,500 kilograms. Your trailer and load combined cannot weigh more than 3,500 kilograms. Your empty trailer weighs 3,500 kilograms. Your trailer and towing vehicle combined cannot weigh more than 3,500 kilograms.
What does it mean if your trailer has a maximum authorized mass of 3,500 kg? Your trailer and load combined cannot weigh more than 3,500 kg. سوالی است که چی معنا داره که شما را اگه اجازه چی معنا داره که شما اجازه دارین که 3,500 کیلوگرم وزن ببرین در trailer. Your trailer and load combined cannot weigh more than 3,500 kg. So what's this 3,500 kg? When you pass your driving test, when you pass your license, you are allowed to tow 3,500 kg weight. And what does that mean? It means the weight, so that's the trailer, okay? So this trailer and plus whatever load you put inside the trailer plus the load, these both should not exceed more than 3500 kg. سوال ایست که شما اگر 3.5 k چه میشه 3,500,000 میشه نه 3,500,000 وزن اگه اجازه دارین این چی معنا داره این معنا داره که وزن همین تریلر و هر چیزی که داخل تریلر ما میندازیم باید اردوش از 3,500 کیلوگرم زیاد نشود. همین 3,500 کیلوگرمش این معنا داره که همین تریلر و هر چیزی که ما در داخل تریلر میندازیم باید اردوش از 3,500 نه 3,500 کیلوگرم است. 3,500 kg. سیونیم هزار باید این وزن تریلر و هر چیزی که داخل تریلر میندازین اردویش باید از 3,500 کیلوگرم زیاد نشه. د تریلی او په تریلر کې چې کوم وزن اچو باید دواره د 3,500 کیلوګرامونه زیات نشي.
What's the speed limit for a car towing a trailer on a motorway? 50 miles per hour. 40 miles per hour. 60 miles per hour. 70 miles per hour.
What's the speed limit for a car towing a trailer on a motorway? This is very easy. So the speed limit on a motorway is 70, but when you're towing a trailer or a caravan, it's 60. Is there anyone that finds this hard? Who said D? MH. Is there anyone that finds this hard? Aha, salam. Okay. So normally on a motorway it's 70, but when you're towing a caravan or trailer, then it's -10. So it's 60 miles per hour. Okay guys, if anyone finds this hard, let me know. I can explain this. It's very easy to remember. Alhamdulillah.
As you approach the roundabout, there's a sign showing a single white bar on a green background. What does this sign tell you? There are chevrons on the roundabout. Give way at the roundabout. The roundabout is 100 yards ahead. The roundabout is 50 yards ahead.
As you approach the roundabout, there is a sign showing a single white bar on a green background. What does this sign tell you? So they're talking about this one. Okay. What's this? Yeah, the roundabout is 100 yards ahead. Or you could say the exit is 100 yards ahead, okay? So it's one white bar, it means 100. If there were two white bars, that would have meant... What about if there were two white bars? What would be the answer? If there were two white bars, not one. اگر در جای همین یک خط سفید که است در جایش دو دانه می بود چی معنا داشت؟ که 200. بله بازم 40 حالا باز جان نمیفهم اکثر مردم 41 و 42 میگیره.
What should you do if your vehicle catches fire while you're driving through a tunnel? Park it away from the carriageway. Pull up, then walk to an emergency telephone. Leave it where it is, with the engine running. Drive it out of the tunnel if it's safe to do so.
What should you do if your vehicle catches fire while you're driving through a tunnel? کلاسی داخل په تونل کې موټر ور واخلین و باید څه شی وکړو؟ که داخل تونل موترتان در بگیره باید چی کنین؟ Yeah, so drive it out of the tunnel if it's safe to do so. Drive it out of the tunnel if it's safe to do so. So you don't put other people's life in danger. So that's why we should try it out of the tunnel if it's safe to do so. If your vehicle did not catch fire, if it's just a normal breakdown, what do? You park your vehicle on the left hand side and then turn on hazard warning lights and then go and call for help. But if it catches fire, then what do? We try to take it out of the tunnel in that situation. So the answer is try it out of the tunnel if it's safe to do so.
There's been a heavy fall of snow. What should you consider before driving in these conditions? Whether you should fit an amber flashing beacon to your car. Whether you should drive without wearing your seat belt. Whether your journey is essential. Whether you should wear sunglasses to reduce the glare.
There's been a heavy fall of snow. What should you consider before driving in these conditions? Yeah, you make sure whether your journey is very essential. کلسی ډیر سنو شوی وي واوره شوی وي دینه مخکې چې موږ ډرایوینګ وکړو باید څه شی په ذهن کې ولرو چې آیا زموږ دا سفر زموږ لپاره ضروري دی که نه دی whether your journey is essential چې آیا می سفرتان برایتان ضروری است یا نیست باید را ببینیم بهار چیز است اما چیزا خوندی unseen questionnaire او را جور کردیم او را ببین یک بار شاید کتیتان کمک شد.
What should the driver of the red car, arrowed, do? Quickly drive behind the pedestrian in the road. Wave towards the pedestrians who are waiting to cross. Wait for the pedestrian in the road to cross. Tell the pedestrian in the road she shouldn't have crossed.
What should the driver of the red car arrow do? همین موتر سرخ باید چی کنند؟ Thank you. مننه هوا. تشکر. What should the driver of the red car arrow do? Obviously allow the pedestrian to cross the road. So wait for the pedestrian in the road to cross. Wait for the pedestrian in the road to cross.
What should you do when you're following a motorcyclist along a road that has a poor surface? Overtake immediately to avoid delays. Allow extra room in case they swerve to avoid potholes. Follow closely so they can see you in their mirrors. Allow the same room as normal to avoid wasting road space.
What should you do when you're following a motorcyclist along a road that has a poor surface? تاسو یو موټر پسې روانې موټرسایکل پسې او سړک خراب دی نو په صورت کې باید موږ څه شی وکړو وقتی که شما پشت یک موتورسایکل سوار هستین و حالت سړک خراب باشه سړک خوب نباشه باید در صورت چی کنیم allow extra room in case they swerve to avoid potholes swerve means changing direction suddenly so they might change direction suddenly to avoid potholes that's why you should allow extra room باید کتیشون فاصله نگاه کنین از خاطری چی؟ از خاطری که چون که سرک خرابش میشه که از چخوری خود را نجات دادن طرف شما نه از او خاطر باید کتیشون فاصله بانید کلاسی سرک خراب بی او مخی تا موتورسایکل روانی باید منگو سر دیر فاصله وساتو وجه سده وجه داده که دیشی اده کندونه ده بچکی دو وجه یودم زمان مخی ترانسی allow extra room in case they swerve to avoid potholes.
What's the meaning of this sign? National speed limit applies. No entry for vehicles. Local speed limit applies. No waiting on the carriageway.
What's the meaning of this sign? Okay, that's national speed limit applies.
What does this sign mean? No waiting for buses and cycles. Contraflow bus and cycle lane. With flow bus and cycle lane. No buses and cycles allowed.
Okay, we'll see. Who got it wrong? Who think it's contraflow bus and cycle lane? Who think this is the answer? Okay. Who think this is the answer? Okay, Wasila, you think that's the answer. Just remember that the word contra, you see, the word contra means, does anyone know what does the word contra means? Does anyone know what does contra means? Contra. What does contra means? Contra means opposite. معنی contra که است؟ مخالف میگه یا opposite. Just remember the word contra means opposite, okay? So whenever there is, okay, let me just show you this 1 second, guys. You see? Yeah, so the word contra means opposite, okay? And whenever you see an arrow like this coming from the opposite direction, that will be contraflow. See, in UK we drive in the left hand side, okay? In UK we drive in the left. So this is our lane, and whenever you see an arrow coming from opposite direction, that will be contraflow system. همیشه دا په ذهن کې یاد ولرئ چې کله هم په دغه ساين کې تاسو ته داسې غشې درکړي او هغه د مخالف سیب نه را روان وي نو هغې ته کنټرافلو وي. دا د کنټرا معنا چې ده لفظي معنی اپوزیت ته وي. نو چې دومره ستاسو په ذهن کې وي چې کنټرا اپوزیت ته وي او دغسې چې غشې د اپوزیت ډایرکشن نه را روان وي نو هغه به کنټرافلو وي. Okay, so whenever there is an arrow coming from opposite direction, that will be contraflow bus and cycle lane. But in here we don't have any arrows, so that's with flow. This is with flow, okay, not contraflow. In contraflow there will be always an arrow coming from opposite direction. Okay, contraflow is this one. Let me just show you guys so you remember. This is contraflow, okay. That's contraflow because you can see an arrow coming from opposite direction. This is with flow. With flow bus and cycle lane.
Who's responsible for paying the vehicle tax? The car dealer. The Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency, DVLA. The registered keeper of the vehicle. The driver of the vehicle.
Who is responsible for paying the vehicle tax? Yeah, the registered keeper of the vehicle. So if it's something to do with documents, that responsibility is on the registered keeper of the vehicle. اگر گپی اسنادا باشه، گپی اسنادا که است، زماواری اسنادا که است، چیزش زماواری کسی که موتر در نامش رجیستر است، زماواری همون میشه دیگه. The registered keeper of the vehicle. The vehicle tax زماواری په چه راځي؟ د چا په نوم چې موټر registered وي. The registered keeper of the vehicle.
When may you drive over a pavement? To gain access to a property. When the pavement is very wide. To overtake slow-moving traffic. If there are no pedestrians nearby.
When may you drive over a pavement? Okay, the answer is to gain access to a property. But do you know what does that mean? The answer is Zihad, it's not. No. To gain access to a property means, so for example, if you got parking outside your house, you got a driveway outside your house, how will you bring your car from the road into your into the parking? Obviously you will go over the pavement to gain access to a property. Make sure, guys, you understand the question and make sure you understand the answer, okay?
What does this sign mean? Side winds. Road noise. Airport. Adverse camber.
What does this sign mean? دا sign دی دا چې دی د side winds. ګوره مخکینی داسې یو ښه سوال دا و چې کله تاسو کولی شئ د پیومنټ د پاسه خپل موټر بوځئ. So when can you drive on the pavement? ګوره تاسو کله کولی شئ چې په پیومنټ باندې ډرایوینګ وکړئ کله چې ګوره زه تاسو ته عکس وښیم چې ته پرې پوه شئ. لکه ستا کور نه بار پارکینګ دی، ته به د سړک نه خپل کور ته موټر څنګه راولې. Okay, so for example, see, that's the road. This is the road. this is pavement and this is parking. So how will you bring your car from the road into the parking? Obviously you will go over the pavement. Okay, ګوره سوال دا چې کله تاسو کولی شئ د pavement د پاسه drive وکړئ کله چې تاسو when gain access to a property کله چې خپل دغه ته کور ته یا property ته لار پیدا کوئ یا هلته ځئ. So when are you allowed to drive over the pavement? When gaining access to your property. So if this is your property, this is the footpath, and if your car is here, you can bring your car over the pavement. What does this sign mean? That was side winds.
What do the lines along the center of the road mean? No stopping. They mark the center of the road. There's a hazard ahead. No overtaking.
What do the lines along the center of the road mean? Okay, so if you look in here, the white lines are bigger and the gap is small. See, the white lines are bigger and the gap is small. These are hazard lines, so there is a hazard ahead. Does anyone know what's the hazard in this picture? What is the hazard in this picture? په دې تصویر کې خطر څه شی دی؟ همین د همین تصویر خطر چی است؟ No. So what do the lines along the center of the road mean? You see the lines, these lines would have been still the same even if there was no tractor. No. Why do we have these hazard lines? Because the road is bent. It's a bent road. Yeah, it's a bent road. You see, it's a bent road. You can see the white car coming from there. این چرا خطر د سرک خطر لاینا رو چرا زده؟ از خاطری که سرک دور خورده. دلته د سرک په منځ کې د hazard لاینونه ولې لګولي؟ ځکه چې سرک تاو شوی دی. بله، so there is a hazard ahead and the hazard is the bend. Bend is a hazard, okay?
How will you benefit from following the manufacturer's service schedule for your vehicle? Your vehicle will be cheaper to insure. Your journey times will be reduced. Your vehicle tax will be lower. Your vehicle will remain reliable.
How will you benefit from following the manufacturer's service schedule for your vehicle? So if you servicing your vehicle regularly on a regular basis, if you taking care of your vehicle, how will you benefit from that? So the question is basically, if you're taking care of your vehicle, how will you get benefit from that? Yeah, your vehicle will remain reliable. Reliable اطمینان بخش میگه. مطلبش که خراب نمیشه. Your vehicle will remain reliable.
You're driving on a motorway at night. Which lights should you have on if there are other vehicles just ahead of you? Front fog lights. Dipped headlights. Main beam headlights. Side lights only.
You're driving on a motorway at night. Which lights should you have on if there are other vehicles just ahead of you? Yeah, dipped headlights.